Hey, this is Scott with Archery Unhinged. We're over here at the Enduring Freedom Academy, and we're going to do something kind of crazy. So I was talking with Jason Tabansky, of course, my good buddy, our co-host, and he's encouraged me to shoot a 50-pound bow for USAT. And I'm also an ASA shooter, and I'm telling you, I just couldn't, as an unknown archer shooting in that pro division, my bow needs to be around that 290 plus feet per second. So Jason thinks we can get there. So we're going to take this Tritech 33 that I have sitting here and see if we can detune it to 60 pounds, get it roughly around 58 to 60. Jason has built some arrows that he thinks are going to get the job done. So it's going to be an interesting test to find out, as a short draw archer, I'm a 26-inch draw length, can I get that arrow at that kind of speed, at that super low poundage, still have the arrow be forgiving enough to shoot accurately and maybe compete with. So I'm, at my ripe old age of 57, not having to have a lot of holding weight, not have to draw 74 pounds, and see if we can make this happen. So this is gonna be a cool little video, a lot of fun testing. And what's cool too is you guys can look forward to things like this in the future, because Archery Unhinged, we're kind of gonna take it out of the podcast realm into the technical tuning and training stuff and do some really cool testing like this all over the map for both para guys, able-bodied, and for the shade tree mechanic archer, I call it, out there that loves to watch our stuff. So stay tuned. Okay, we're off to the arrow build. So Jason has graciously given me some 30-50 carnivores from Black Eagle. Jason shot these a couple years ago. These also have Q2I low profile 1.5-inch vanes in a 4-fletch pattern. We got Easton's new HD knock. I think it's an HD.
It's the G Gen 2.
Gen 2s, and I tell you, I love these knocks so far. They have as good, better than the IP knocks that I used to shoot. I'm really happy with those. So we're gonna throw a 100-grain point in these suckers and get an overall weight to see what they come out at. And make sure we can still do it with our 50 to 60 pound draw weight, whatever we decide to go at, to get the speeds up where we can.
Yeah, we're hoping to get roughly around between what, 260, 270 for total weight of the arrow. So we're scraping the legality of what this arrow weight should be. So
yeah, it's going to be a super lightweight build. And one of the stinky things for me especially, Jason is blessed with 29.5-inch draw length, and me at 26. It makes things hyper difficult for me. So we'll find out what this arrow comes out at and what it's going to do with the bow, and if we can really get it as light as we actually need it.
Give it a little dip, cool that glue off. We're going to put it on this awesome Last Chance, the version 2 Pro scale. And what do we have?
284 grains.
284.
That is light. I mean light.
We'll see how that goes. So Scott, while you're working on bringing the poundage down, why don't you talk us through a little bit of what you built here, what you're holding?
So I've got the Darton's new Tritech 33. I went with a 33-inch bow because of the speed and, believe it or not, the draw length. I'm a super short guy, and the draw length on this one starts at 25.5 inches. So we're gonna get this thing down to 60 pounds, 60 to 70 pound bow. A lot of guys and gals will think that it's crazy taking a 70, dropping it to 60. But I'll tell you, I like having the ability to put more poundage in if I need it. Especially, strings and cables will move. They'll stretch, and if I don't like moving my indicator pin, if I can just put a turn in my limbs, get it back to where I had it before, I can get the tape back on exactly where it's supposed to be. 33-inch axle, 6 3/8 inch in the brace height. This bow comes in pretty darn fast. I think around 336 feet per second IBO, so we'll see how close that is, because we're going to be measuring really close to the edge of that. And Excel sight, love them. Shrewd mini mag scope. I got my indoor scope on it right now, but I will be changing that over to a bowfinger for 3D. But I will shoot this for FITA, especially for any of the USA Archery stuff that we're thinking about going to. Got my Spot Hog spring steel rest on there, the swap edge. Absolutely love it, because I can go between this with an X Impact or that carnivore we're going to test, and also go to my PS25s, which I shoot in ASA competition. Got our Smackdown new set of white bars, which are really cool looking. And I'm gonna have a new set of strings here pretty soon. in all white to match these. And this is a 625s and a 27-inch and a 12 in the back. So this target bow should be good to go. We're gonna find out what it does on the speed test.
Sweet, let's go.
All right, let's check the poundage and see where we're at.
Let's go.
4 turns out. And yes, I have the old school last chance scale, but I love these. I think they're more accurate than the new ones personally. We're at 56.5 pounds with 10 pounds of holding weight.
56, all right.
So we'll see what happens.
Start there. All right, we're getting Scott all set up. Here we go, first shot.
All right, first shot, let's see what happens. You know, it really helped if I turned there. There's one for the blooper bag.
Yeah, we're just gonna do this as a blooper reel, but yeah. Anyway, we'll do it again. It's all good. You guys get to see how we work here at the Academy.
That turned the radar on.
Yep. Behind the scenes, folks.
.286 feet a second. I actually did not expect that speed, personally. I was guessing realistically 277, 275. So that's actually a lot better than I wanted. I'm at 57 pounds, and you know, normally last year for ASA, for example, I shot 74 pounds to stay at 290 something. So I'm kind of excited. If that arrow stabilizes, Jay, you think it will with those Q2Is?
Oh, I'm positive that it's going to stabilize.
If I can get that arrow to stabilize and shoot the way I need it, that is going to be a killer recipe potentially.
Yeah.
And I probably could shoot for FITA.
You could. I mean, if you can shoot accurately at 50, 60 yards for what's your guys' max range? 50, right?
50.
Yeah. I mean, add 5 more yards for outdoor. You should be all right.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm really excited. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to crank this thing up to 60 and we'll see what it does. So we got a good testing range to work with.
Alrighty.
All right, so because the speed test was so good with that other arrow, Jason had some red and black carnivore 30-50s, which we actually put a 120 grain tip in to find out what the variance is. You know, if I can get away with 120 grains up front, it'll give me better FOC for target archery, especially in the FITA world at 50 yards, where we got to deal with wind. Something we don't deal with in the ASA side, but for FITA, this could be a game changer. So we cut this arrow down to the same 24.5 inches with a 120 grain point, and I think this weight's going to come in around 304 grains total weight, compared to when we started with at 100 grains at 284, 280, yeah, 283.8.
Yeah, 20 grain difference.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and I'm kind of excited. I went ahead and cranked the bow up to 60 pounds even from 57, so we're going to see what those changes make and see if we can come up with a good, safe, very reliable setup for both FITA and ASA.
All right, so we're set up back at the chrono, and we're going to start off with the 280 grain one.
Yeah, 60 pounds.
It does, 60 pounds.
.293 feet per second. So that would be a perfect speed for us in ASA with our variance allowance. 296 is kind of like the game where we can play. I like to leave 3 to 4 feet per second just in case we get a hot chrono.
So now we're going with the 120 grain.
120.
Let's see what this one does.
.284. Now I'm not gonna lie, for FITA, that's probably where I'd sit, and I'll tell you why. The extra 20 grains in the tip, super important when we get in these windy situations, especially down at Gator Cup, even up in Columbus at the Buckeye Classic. Most of our events, we're gonna have to deal with wind. That's just part of the game in FITA. I'd probably go with that arrow and just make sure my sight mark and tape for that at 50 yards is dead on. But because I'm shooting the exact same diameter arrow and I can get away with that 100 grain tip in that carnivore in ASA, I don't have to retune my bow at all in any way, shape, or form. And I think both these will perform really good. So it's kind of cool because Jason has green fletchings and red fletchings. I know which one's going to be my ASA, which one will be my FITA arrow, and I can get away with both of them with those speeds and be really comfortable. So now the real test is we take them out to 50 yards, group tune them, and see if we can get these arrows to fly.
Yep, and I think what we're going to do next is we're we're gonna build up a couple X impacts and put them to the same test.
Yeah, absolutely. Because ironically, I just hung up with one of my dealers, and he's going through this with his wife. In the ASA world that we have to live in, especially when we're judging, we have to find a way to ensure that if we can stay in the 10 ring, if we misjudge by X amount of yards. So last year for me, shooting around 296, I had, and with a really fat arrow, which was the PS25s, I had about 2 yards of variance. I can make a mistake by 2 yards, still maintain a 10. Right now, he's in his testing, he says his X impacts with his wife, and we have very similar characteristics. He's saying she's getting about 4 yards. If I can get 4 yards worth of play, man, it takes away the judging game as far as me have to be ultra accurate. Now, I'm not going to win any tournaments there, but if I can stay at 10 the whole way around, 10's all the way around within that game, I could probably make a top 5. It's crazy to sound, but it's really true. So avoid the 8s, avoid the 5s by misjudging, and it's all about arrow trajectory and keeping them as fast as possible. All right, so Crazy Jason just built me 2 X impacts.
Yep. 500's fine. 500's
fine. The tuning thing might be the biggest thing in this, and we'll check that. But we went with a 90 grain point and a 100 grain point. So we're sitting, I think, at...
Let's check out the weight.
This one should be the lighter one. And we'll be at 263 grains, basically. And this one should be at 273.
Yeah, 10 grains more.
Yep, 273. So we're going to shoot this a little bit heavier one first. All right. Let's see what happens. All right, so we got the heavier 273 grain arrow.
Yeah, back at the chrono.
I'm going to call around 290 feet a second.
298.
I don't know if I even have to shoot this one, because that one will probably get everything done for us and actually allow me to detune the bow to probably 58 pounds to keep me below the speed limit of ASA, and it would be a tack driver for a FIDA event. So this is the light one. This one's going to be kind of craziness. 304 feet per second, folks.
So you're gaining 6 feet.
You know what's crazy though? We got a bow at 26-inch in draw length at 60 pounds of draw weight and hitting numbers of 300 feet per second. And honestly, that is a decent arrow build. We don't have extremely light point weight. We've got good point weight with the 80 and 100 grains, which would be indicative of a great FIDA type arrow. So it'll be interesting once we get a chance to build about a half a dozen of these of each, probably 3 or 4. We'll get outside and group tune these and kind of let you guys know what we found to be the secret sauce. The goal here, once again, sub 60s, 290 plus feet per second, allow us to shoot both a FIDA event at 50 yards in the wind and an ASA event at 50 yards judging. So stay tuned for the results later on.